Hello my fellow whale watchers and welcome to another episode of Rush Hour. Today you will see one of the most insane battles that I've ever played. Why? Because it was almost impossible to win. A lot of factors had to come together at the exact right moment in order to squeeze out the victory at the last second, and I will now show you the journey. One of these factors certainly was one of my clanmates. Angie is one of the best players I know, and matchmaking paired us up for this battle against a whale squad of 3. The battle started quite standard. I'm trying to get and defend the left side central beacon with my Phantom and lock it down for a bit. What helps tremendously here in this situation is the support by a Capri. Let me fast forward here a bit, because otherwise the video will simply take too long. We will jump into my newest build, the Smootler Cramola Fenrir, and give a bit of damage support on the Dreadnought roof, because what we eventually want to get is the beacon on the right hand side. From a strategic point of view, this is the most important beacon on this map for Beacon Rush. It is covered and gives access to the roof, so by holding that beacon, everybody that spawns here can bring himself in a great tactical position. So finally we will get it, and I will help out a bit with my shell in order to hold it. Everything is quite standard until this point. My shell will eventually get destroyed and we find ourselves in this situation here. I have my Cramola Capri, my Luchador and my Havoc Ravana left. So what would you do in this situation? Feel free to pause for a second and to think about it, because there are many options here. So here is what I did. I believe many of you would have chosen to jump onto D, potentially with the Luchador. However, D is blue, teammates keep jumping in there, and I believe that we can hold it. So instead I'm more worried about the other side. We currently hold B, but it does not look good there, and my guess is that starting from E, the red team will start attacking these beacons here. So I decided to jump on B with my Cramola Capri. This is my tanky and agile 500 meter support damage build. The idea here is to keep these guys at a distance as long as we can. But another issue is that we are down to 3 bots and we only are a bit more than 3 minutes into the game. So we must play the Capri quite conservatively here and cannot brawl things out. In this case, a Luchador jumps on the beacon, so of course I cannot stay here because I would die in a few seconds. Instead, I try to rejoin the rest of my team at center, which has worked its way forward there in the meantime, and hope that we can get something together to tackle these left side beacons. So let's forward a bit again. We help out at center with a bit support damage and healing, and then finally we advance towards the 3 left side beacons as a team. Let's stop here for a second. Around 500 meter range support weapons, so my main goal is this Siren here. Why? Because it is run by the red top player and has a really high damage output. At the same time, it is not easy for my teammates to hit it because they all run brawling builds. So I will focus that thing until it dies. I'm tanky enough to compensate for the reflector shield. Our next focus is to keep beacon B blue. Luckily Angie helps out with her Minos and 3 Cinders, otherwise it would really be difficult to bring this Luchador down, and it needs to go. The Luchador probably runs Cannibal or Onslaught reactors because it focuses the Minos and not me, which gives Angie the opportunity to hide behind cover while I stay on the beacon and keep it blue. And finally we managed to bring it down. Very nice team play here. Also my Orion strike could help a bit. Then I see another opportunity to help my team. Our home beacon is red and a Fafnir spawned there, so while the rest of my team goes back to brawl at sea, I decide to take it on. My Cramolas are perfect for dealing with Fafnirs, and I'm confident that I can bring it down before it arrives at beacon B. So for optimizing time, I already moved towards A in order to turn it back to blue. So now of course there's the question if anything will spawn here. Let's see. A Siren. Alright, this is not too bad. I think I can deal with it. We charge up our Orion mothership by capping the beacon, and then we simply wait until it lands. Wait out his phase shift and nuke it out of existence. Rampage. Back to B. There are 4 minutes left to play, and maybe you noticed that actually most titans of the red team are gone. So this could be a very good point in time to spawn our own titan, but before that, let's help out our team once more. We won't be able to hold B anyways, there are too many reds. So let's try to get that Harpy down to last stand before we get destroyed. Time for the Luchador, and of course we will jump in at center where Angie is still busy with her Minos, burning the hell out of our opponents. I just love that thing. So that gives us the opportunity to get D back, which is the most strategic beacon on that map. And here now starts the sequence where we need to play very precisely in order to preserve our team a small chance to win, because slowly but steadily our team runs out of steam. I managed to get the Capri off the beacon, and now I just sit on it. And here you can see the advantage of having a Cataclysm mounted instead of a Grom. I'm not completely defenseless against opponents that are not at point blank distance. The problem, however, is that I won't be able to get that Capri down without the help of my team. So for now, we just defend this very important beacon here. We are now in a 3 versus 5 against Super Whales, so we cannot afford to make any mistakes here. Otherwise, we will lose very quickly. So I concentrate on this Revenant that is continuously healed up by his squad mate, but eventually we should be able to crack it down. Let's see. Almost. It's just insane how long these things can survive. But finally my Cataclysm is recharged and here it goes. That solves one issue, but we need to solve the other one too, which is the Capri. And now I got very lucky that one of my other remaining teammates helps me with it. Otherwise I would not be able to bring that thing down anytime soon. Thank you, that preserved us the chance to win, because at least for now we hold that beacon. My Luchador is almost done, but I can jump to center once more and add a bit of damage to the red intruders there before we finally go down. So now comes the most important decision of the game. I only have my Havoc Ravana left. Where should I spawn it? Again, take a few seconds if you like to think about it. I'm sure that many of you would have chosen center. Why not, right? We join forces there, defend the beacon, but here's the thing. Even if we could hold it for a while, it would not win us this battle. We're in a 3 versus 5 and we're outnumbered against Super Whales. So what could we do for preserving a small chance to win here? The answer is, we need to go for the 3 beacons on the left side here. And that's what we will do, one after the other. So I drop in at our spawn and start with turning our home beacon. Again, that's the only way how we can win this battle, by beacon control. So let's stop here for a second. There is an Orochi there and he starts shooting us, but I don't care about it. My priority here is to turn his beacon. And then this Orochi player makes a mistake. He just turns around and runs away. I have no idea why, but this was one of the reasons why we could win this battle in the end. If he stayed around here, being obnoxious, or if he had recapped the beacon after we left, there would have been no way how we could have won this battle, but he didn't. Luckily, nobody jumps in here, so we got 1 out of 3. And we need to follow an exact script in order to preserve a small chance to win. Next we need to run to B and turn that one, again hoping that nobody jumps in there. At that moment Angie gets destroyed, but what a great job by her binding the entire red team. This made it possible in first place that we still have a chance here. So nobody jumped in again, perfect, so we can advance to E. As you may have noticed, we now lost center and beacon D on the other side of the map, so we are really trying to somehow keep our team in a battle here, just by surviving and by trying to turn beacons. A small detail here, I don't use my orbital strike yet, because I need it as an insurance in case something should come close to me. We have 1 minute left as we approach beacon E. Again, we hope that nobody jumps in, but suddenly there is a Hawk and we insta-nuke him with the Orion mothership. Priority is first, we stay on the beacon and turn it blue, and then we need to bring the Hawk down fast, because we are now the last man standing in our team, and everybody and their mom will now come over here trying to kill us. There are 40 seconds left to play, which is an eternity in this game. We just need to stay alive and somehow hold a couple of beacons. I advance to beacon B here, because I want to lure the reds away from E, which is blue, and I want to reach this particular cover here, so that I can stay close to the beacon and hopefully survive for a few more seconds. However, everything becomes difficult now. We get insta-locked, everybody jumps on us, and finally we die. No chance here. But luckily, with only 5 seconds left on the clock, the almost impossible became reality. We won by beacon control, because time was up. That was one of the most insane battles that I ever fought. Congratulations also to our opponents, they gave us a hell of a fight here. And of course also to our team that somehow made that almost impossible victory possible. Thanks for listening in and see you on my channel.